Hello everybody and welcome to Messy Church. Now I hope that you have eaten, because if you haven't, you are going to be absolutely starving by the end of this, because Messy Church today is all about food. We've got games, we've got crafts, we've even got a visit from Professor KnowItAll, who thinks that she can show us how to grow a little bit of food into a lot of food. But most importantly, we are going to be finding out about another totally unexpected thing that Jesus did when he turned 5 loaves and 2 little fish into a meal for 5,000 people. Seeing as we're on the food theme, I'm going to tell you about a really fun, simple game that you can play anytime, anywhere, and it's called Sausages. It's a really easy game. All you have to do is a grown-up has to ask the child a question, any question, doesn't matter, but the answer is always sausages. The thing is though, the child, the person answering the question, the person saying sausages, is not allowed to laugh.
What's your name?
Sausage.
What comes out of your nose?
Sausages.
What does Dad plant in the ground?
Sausages.
What do you put in my tea?
Sausages.
Do you?
What have you got in your face?
Yogurt.
No. What do you have to say?
Sausages.
What's your favourite colour?
Sausage.
What are you wearing right now?
Sausages.
What's your baby sister called?
Sausages.
And what is that on top of your head? When you go to the hairdresser, what does the hairdresser cut off?
Sausages.
What do you brush your teeth with?
Sausages.
What have you done today?
Sausage.
Sausages?
If I gave you £1 million and you could buy anything in the whole wide world, what would you buy?
Sausages. Sausages.
Hello kids at Messy Church, my name's Professor KnowItAll and I'm going to show you some of our top secret experiments we've been doing over the last 3 weeks. We've been trying to grow our food. You never know when people might come and visit you and you might need more food to feed them, so we've been trying to make our food bigger. Now here at the lab we have an optimal diet for scientists: Coca-Cola, marshmallows and Haribo, and we've been trying to grow those. Let me show you. Experiment number 1. How to grow Kirk. Are you ready, professors?
Yes.
Have you got your safety goggles on?
Yes.
Excellent. Go for it. Experiment number 2. How to grow marshmallows. Oh, it's easy. Just put them in the microwave and heat them up. Experiment number 3. How to grow Haribo. Let's see the Haribo, Professor. All you have to do is put it in a big bowl of water and leave it overnight. Put them all in and we'll see what happens. "12 hours later, they've grown. Look at this. Woo! 24 hours later, look how they've grown.
This game is called the Lunchbox Lottery, and it involves a grown-up, me, telling a little guy, him, to go fetch something, and it has to be something that you're going to put in your lunchbox. Go fetch me a banana. Go fetch me some milk. Go fetch me some juice. What about some biscuits? Okay, what about a potato? Okay, go fetch me a fork. And finally, go fetch me some carrots, or a carrot. In the fridge. See a carrot? Quick, down the bottom, near the bottom. Okay, I tell you what, go get me, bring me something else from the fridge, you decide. Okay, bring me the strawberries. That's it. What a wonderful picnic!
Yes.
There were once 5,000 tired and hungry and probably very grumpy people sitting on a hillside wanting their dinner. They'd come to hear Jesus that day. They came before breakfast, stayed all morning, all afternoon, and way past dinner. No one had meant to be out there that long, but that's how it was listening to Jesus, as if time didn't exist. People could listen to Jesus for hours, and on that particular day, that's just what they did. But they hadn't brought enough food, and they couldn't just go and buy themselves a burger and fries to go because, of course, they were in the middle of nowhere with no shops or restaurants. Besides, that kind of food wasn't invented yet. What would they do? Jesus' friends had an idea. Let's send everyone home for dinner. They don't need to go, Jesus said. You can give them something to eat. Did Jesus want them to travel all the way to town and buy food for everyone? Jesus' friends panicked. But we don't have enough money. What food do you have? Jesus asked. Go and see. Now, there was a little boy in the crowd. He had brought a lunch that his mother had made for him that morning. He looked at his 5 loaves and 2 fish. It wasn't much, not nearly enough for 5,000, but it was all he had. I have some, he said. Jesus' friends laughed when they saw his little lunch. That's not nearly enough, they said. But they were wrong. Jesus knew it didn't matter how much the little boy had. God would make it enough, more than enough. Jesus said, Bring me what you have. And so the little boy gave Jesus his lunch. Jesus winked at the little boy and whispered in his ear, Watch. How in the world will Jesus feed everyone with just that? Jesus' friends said, because they thought it was impossible. But Jesus knew the one who made all the fish in the oceans, and Jesus knew the one who in the very beginning had made everything out of nothing at all. How hard would something like this be for someone like that? Jesus took the little boy's lunch, looked up to heaven and thanked his Father. Then Jesus gave the little lunch back to his friends. As Jesus' friends started to hand out the food, do you know what? It was the strangest thing. No matter how much they broke off, there was always more, and more, and more. Enough for 5,000. Everyone ate as much as they wanted, second helpings, third helpings, even fourths, until they were full. And still there were leftovers. Well, Jesus did many miracles like this, things people thought couldn't happen, that weren't natural, but it was the most natural thing in all the world. It's what God had been doing from the beginning, of course, taking the nothing and making it everything, taking the emptiness and filling it up, taking the darkness and making it light.
Who here is forgetful? I am. I'm always forgetting something or leaving something behind. One thing that I do probably every week is I forget my lunch. Now I don't forget to make it. I get up nice and early and I make myself a nice sandwich and maybe a bag of crisps and some fruit, maybe a bottle of water, something like that. And I put it all together in a nice box, ready to go. And then I leave the house and just forget about it. I just leave it behind. What am I like? But it seems that I'm not alone, because one day over 5,000 people went out, way out into the countryside, to hear Jesus teach about the kingdom of God and all the wonderful things that God wanted to say to the people. But it seems that they all forgot to bring anything to eat. And so it got to the end of the day and they were starving, hungry. The only person who had brought anything was a little boy who had brought 5 loaves and 2 fishes. But that is not going to go very far amongst so many people. Now, from time to time, when I make a meal for my family, put some food together, I sometimes get the portions wrong. And sometimes there isn't quite enough for everyone to go around. So what do I do in those situations? Well, I divide it up into smaller portions and then at least everybody gets some. But you know by now that Jesus doesn't do what we expect him to. Instead of dividing up the loaves into smaller and smaller pieces, Jesus multiplies them. Now, how does he do this? The truth is, I don't know. I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have seen him do it. I would have watched him closely to see exactly how he was going to make just 5 little loaves into hundreds and hundreds of loaves for all of these people. But it's interesting what he didn't do. This is probably what I would have done. I would have taken one of these loaves, and instead of dividing it into lots of loaves, I would have made it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it's the size of a house. And likewise with the fish, I would have taken this little fish and I would have made it bigger and bigger and bigger until it was the size of a whale. But Jesus doesn't work like this. He takes one loaf and he divides it and hands it out. He takes another one, he divides it and hands it out. He takes another one and out it goes. And then as the bread starts coming out, all of a sudden more bread arrives. And where is all this bread coming from? I thought we only had 5 loaves. Well, it just seems that Jesus has made more and more and more and more loaves until everybody is satisfied. Now, in some ways, that's the most unexpected thing about Jesus. He doesn't do things in a crash, bang, showy way to make us all stand back and wonder at the amazing things he does. Sometimes he just does things quietly, in a way which isn't showing off, but it's quietly providing the people with what we need. And you know, Jesus is still doing that today. He doesn't always give us massive things to deal with, but he just every day quietly gives us what we need, whether it's food, whether it's anything else. Now, Jesus taught us that one day his body would be broken, just like a piece of bread. But because of his broken body, we would be satisfied in a way which no meal could ever satisfy us. Because through his broken body, we would receive forgiveness of sins and everlasting life. Every day, Jesus giving us a little bit to keep trusting him, keep believing in him, keep hoping in him, giving us every day just exactly what we need.